live? Are we on the internet? Excellent. Okay. What's going on, everyone? Josef Newgarden here. We are live from the Palace here in Detroit. Well, it's not in Detroit. It's in Auburn Hills, but we're just south of Detroit. So still having a good time. North. We're here for the pit. We're north. I don't even know my geography here, obviously. So thank you, Merrill. I have my trusty helper with Merrill. He's been toting me all around the city today. We've had a lot of fun promoting for the Detroit GP. So hopefully you guys are getting excited. It's going to be June 2nd through the 4th. We're all pretty pumped up for that event. Obviously it comes off the Indianapolis 500, which is a big highlight for us. So we love coming to Detroit right afterwards and getting to see the duel. It's the only doubleheader you're going to see all year, so that's a big highlight for us. Tonight we're at the Pistons game. If you couldn't tell, we're at the Palace. For you, people that know the Palace, it's obviously Pistons territory. They're playing the Hornets. I now live in Charlotte, after joining Team Penske, which is new for me, but I'm not a Hornets fan yet. I've only been there for a month, so I haven't really changed my allegiance or anything like that. So going for the Pistons tonight. They're going to make me do a half-court shot, see if I can hit that. We're also going to field some questions, so I hope you guys are tuning in and sending stuff in right now.
All right, you ready?
We have stuff, Merrill?
First question.
Excellent.
This comes from Hannah on Facebook.
Okay.
What would you want to see if you weren't, or what would you want to be if you weren't a race car driver?
Okay, Hannah, what would I want to be if I was not a race car driver? That's a great question. I don't have a great answer for you, to be honest. I put everything into what I was doing in racing. I'd probably get into engineering, some type of mechanical engineering, involved in racing still. I respect the engineers in racing so much. It really is a huge component to what we do. Some of these people that work in the engineering department are so clever to me. Now, it takes a whole organization. You can't just exclude everyone else and think the engineers are the best, but I love working with the engineers. It's something that I've become very accustomed to. It's something I've become more familiar with. It's something I respect a lot, so it'd probably be engineering if I wasn't a driver.
Good answer. Next one comes from Jimmy from Twitter. Do you feel that winning races is the best way a driver can market themselves? And what other ways could you market yourself?
Okay, so answering Jimmy's question, thanks for sending that in. It's a great question, actually. Is winning the best way to market yourself in racing, or is there other ways to market yourself? Well, there's definitely other ways you can market yourself. Like right now, I'm piggybacking off the Detroit GP, and the lovely people at Team Penske, they are letting me do some marketing for them. We're obviously trying to do the event kickoff, trying to prepare for the event that's coming up later in the year. So, anything that you're doing that's, tied into an event, preparing for an event, you could technically call that marketing. So you're getting involved in other ways than just winning a race and being in victory lane and getting interviewed on national TV. But if you look at it as a racer, I think probably the best way to get exposure, and really the number one thing you want to do as a race car driver is win races. So it's going to be the best way to get some exposure for yourself, or hopefully your partners, your sponsors, everyone involved within the group that you're racing with, and it's the best way you want to do it. But there are other ways, as I've said, and you can do many, many things. You look at James Hinchcliffe, for instance, one of the best. He knows how to market himself very well. He's even invented his own town with Hinchtown. So there's obviously lots of ways you can get creative, but I think winning races is probably the most preferable way to do it.
Try to spread it around here. Mike on Instagram asks, how hard is it to come to Detroit to race on the streets of Belle Isle after spending the month of May in Indianapolis on an oval track like that?
So Mike, to answer your question about transitioning from Indianapolis coming to the Detroit GP, very, very different racetracks. It's actually a huge challenge because for us in IndyCar, we spend the entire month there at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. So you get so accustomed to doing 230 plus miles per hour. You get accustomed to tuning the car a certain way for oval racing, which is very different than Detroit. And then you have to come to this city street and try and figure out, okay, now how do we make the car more settled on bumps? You're not dealing with bumps at Indianapolis, so there's all these different variables that you have to try and figure out that you weren't trying to figure out a week before for an entire month. So it is a huge challenge. You mentally have to shift yourself for the way you drive the car, the way you get feedback, the way you manage the race. Everything's totally different. I actually think it's one of the coolest things about IndyCar racing because it's what makes us so versatile. You really have to figure out each weekend what you need for each specific track. And moving from Indy to Detroit is one of the most challenging things you do.
This next one comes from Michael on Twitter. What sports did you play before you got into racing?
Okay, so Michael, thanks for the question. What sports did I play before racing? Baseball was my big one. I don't know how I messed up the pitch at the Tigers game because I played for 11 plus years. I think I played 12 total baseball. So I know how to throw a ball. I haven't thrown a ball in a long time. I stopped playing baseball when I was about 16. So it's been a while. It's been about 10 years since I've played. I also played basketball. Basketball was probably my favorite sport. I wish I was more genetically fit for basketball. If I had the skill sets or the talents for basketball, I probably would have tried to pursue that, but racing was my true love. So once I started that, everything else fell by the wayside.
This next one comes from OWR Online on Twitter. Aside from being picked up by Penske, did you receive enough credit for finishing 4th in the title chase last year?
Okay, that's great. Thank you. Who's it from?
OWR Online.
Okay, OWR Online. All right, thanks for the question. Did I receive enough credit for 4th in the championship? You know what? I normally don't look at that type of stuff. I was pretty happy with what we did at Ed Carpenter Racing last year. I have a lot of respect, a lot of love for Ed Carpenter Racing. We did some amazing things. We actually tried to beat, obviously, Team Penske, the team I'm with now. So we did that. We were successful a couple times. The Iowa victory was good. I think we had some other chances of winning races, but they didn't materialize. But as far as finishing 4th in the championship, I think it was the best that we could do in maximizing the year. The Texas thing hampered our championship run quite a bit. We really, I think, would have had a better shot if that whole deal didn't go down the way it did. But I'm plenty happy. I think we got a lot of praise for what our whole group at Ed Carpenter did. The whole Ed Carpenter Racing team was fantastic. And now, moving on to Team Penske, it's going to be the same gig. You don't look for the praise of doing well. You just try and do well, and you look at the achievements, and you're happy with that at the end of the year. So for me, I didn't notice it so much, but I think we got plenty of praise for what the entire Ed Carpenter Racing team did.
So we have a bunch more questions, but to keep us on time here, we're just going to do one more.
We only have so much time. Sorry, people. Sorry.
That's right. This one comes from Twitter. How confident are you in making your half-court shot tonight?
Who was it from?
Hannah on Twitter.
Hannah on Twitter. I love your handle, by the way. It's so easy to know who's talking to me. So Hannah, do I feel confident in the half-court shot tonight? No, I don't feel confident at all. But Merrill Kane feels absolutely confident in me. So I'm going to feed off of Merrill's energy tonight. He thinks I can do it. We practiced, and I'm not going to tell you how I didn't practice, but I don't have a ton of confidence that I can nail it on the first hit, but I'm going to try. I'm going to go in with a good attitude and try to get it done, so we'll see what happens.
All right, before you sign off, what are people seeing right behind you here?
Okay, so for anyone that wants to know, we're obviously in the Palace. It's my first time being here. I'm sorry about my geography of Detroit. I don't know exactly where everything is, but Auburn Hills, looking at a beautiful Indy car behind us, a DW12 Indy car. It's obviously geared up in the Detroit GP livery, so you get to see all the fancy kit on there. You get to see all the stickers for all the supporters. And then also, you might notice it's a Chevrolet, because I'm a Chevy guy. Team Penske, we're a Chevy team, and it's also a Chevy town. So it's even more special to come here being a part of Team Penske. We're going to try and do a great job. They take a lot of pride in this race and everything that it does for the city, and they try and put on a great event. So I'm very excited and honored to be a part of the group, and hopefully we're going to have something to show for when we come to the weekend this year.
So for those people who are coming down here to the Palace, watching this online, getting ready to come in their cars, how do they meet you tonight? Okay,
so if you're coming to the Palace tonight, you probably already have your tickets, so that's great. If you don't have tickets, you can still get tickets, and you can still come down to the Palace, check out the IndyCar. If you've never seen an IndyCar before, you can obviously see it through the video, but if you want to come up and see it in person, you want to touch it, you want to talk to me about what the IndyCar is all about, we'll let you touch it. It's probably not allowed, but I'll let you touch the car. So you got my word. So come down to the Palace. You obviously can come see us here. So where we're at is, I believe this is the Power Hour?
109.
109. Okay, so we're in section 109. This is where I'm located at, where the IndyCar is located at. We're going to be here at 7:15. So if you come here,
you're in the Power Hour at 7:15.
Okay, we're in the Power Hour at 7:15. So we're in 109 now. Is this where?
Just stay here all night.
Okay, so the IndyCar is here in section 109. I'll be in the Power Hour at 7:15. So you can come see me. We can talk IndyCar, the Detroit GP, whatever you want to talk about. We'd love to see you here, and you're going to get to see a great game. So come on out and come hang out with us. Thank you guys. Thanks so much.